We've all heard that masturbation is entirely normal. But to what extent? How many times a day can you do it without being considered addicted? What if you can't stop? Let's answer these questions and explore why you should consider stopping today with this act that seems harmless but may hide a trap for your life. Before we begin, I'd like to apologize for the exaggerated cover, but I needed to grab your attention to this 21st century issue that weakens and harms many young people and adults, leaving us without willpower. In this video, you'll understand what happens to our brain scientifically and philosophically, and what Stoicism has to teach us about this vice. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss anything. History of masturbation. Let's begin. Current medicine clearly states that masturbation is entirely normal, not only in humans, but also observed in dogs and other mammals. However, this view of normal masturbation wasn't always the case. In the past, masturbation was considered immoral, especially for men, as unproductive seed production prevented reproduction. For women, it was believed that masturbation could distance them from men by finding pleasure on their own. This moral burden was coupled with a physical one, claiming that masturbation caused diseases. Thus, it was not advisable at all. But let's return to the present. What do we know about masturbation, especially for men suffering from insomnia? It is known to induce sleep. The problem: the French Institute of Health and Medical Research concluded that the male brain deactivates sexual desire after orgasm. The cerebral cortex, the area responsible for conscious thought, goes to rest once climax is reached. This, in addition to nullifying the desire to continue sexual relations, facilitates sleep. Hence, many men fall asleep after sexual activity. But what's the problem? Dopamine. Well, hidden within its benefits is a trap. If you frequent this channel, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Masturbation releases dopamine in your brain, a hormone that makes us feel good, providing calm, stress relief, and a sense of reward. This is so pleasurable that some people become addicted. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders includes hypersexuality disorder, classifying excessive masturbation under obsessive-compulsive disorder, another vice leading to mental and familial destruction. In many cases, you become a slave to yourself, seeking relationships with prostitutes, sex with multiple partners, and, as discussed in a previous video, excessive consumption of pornography. These are ways a dopamine-saturated brain seeks pleasure. Pay attention. Addiction to masturbation stems from chemicals released in the brain. As our brain adapts to these releases, it demands more dopamine to achieve the same pleasure, making you constantly seek to masturbate again. This reaches an exaggerated point when your brain realizes the release is excessive and begins to block receptors to stop you. As a result, you perform the act but get nothing, frustrating you even more. Addiction. Excessive masturbation to satisfy this hunger for pleasure is akin to a smoker who never stops, someone who eats chocolate until vomiting, or even an alcoholic. At this point, you might be wondering what Stoicism has to do with this. Stoicism, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, masters of self-control and wisdom, addressed pleasure and lust from a unique perspective. From the words of Epictetus to Seneca's intimate thoughts, they explored human passions, a legacy that still captivates us. For the Stoics, masturbation was not just a quest for carnal satisfaction, but an opportunity to explore the limits of body and mind. They saw it as an exercise in self-awareness and a path to true freedom. Mastery over worldly passions and pleasures was a conquest that elevated the human spirit. Epicurus asserted that self-control, not nights of pleasure, distinguishes a good man. The ability to enjoy pleasure while understanding and containing it makes the difference in someone who has reached higher self-awareness. Instead of being slaves to our desires, we must be their masters, as Seneca reminds us with his philosophical perspective. Stoic reflection on masturbation is about understanding and self-mastery, directing our emotions towards a journey of conscious self-exploration. Consequences. The connection with nature is highly valued by the Stoics. When we become prisoners of our desires, we drift away from true inner serenity. Compulsive masturbation can trigger an emotional whirlwind within us, where guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction become constant companions. The Stoics teach us to control our intense emotions through introspection and self-regulation. By consciously facing our emotions, we learn to manage them healthily and constructively. However, the Stoics encourage us to find inner peace within ourselves. True satisfaction lies in our self-mastery and our ability to find joy in what is simple and virtuous. Allow me to share a personal, inspirational Inspirational story. I know someone who used to struggle with compulsive masturbation, seeking momentary refuge in pleasure, but facing an emotional storm after each act. Immersing themselves in Stoic teachings and practicing self-control and self-regulation, this person underwent a profound transformation. They learned to confront their desires and emotions consciously, finding true joy in self-control. They now live a life of inner peace and authenticity, free from the slavery of momentary desires. True satisfaction comes from living in accordance with our deepest principles and values. When we yield to fleeting desires, we lose sight of what we truly value in life. Compulsive masturbation can distance us from our noblest purposes and veer us away from the true happiness found in virtue and inner peace. By practicing meditation and mindfulness, we can promote the mental serenity needed to resist temptations and face our emotions healthily. This compulsion becomes an obstacle to mental serenity, dragging us into regrets and steering us away from the peacefulness found in self-control and moderation. My friend, what are you doing with your life? Do you think sitting at home, watching those videos, and taking pleasure with your hands can make you confident and successful? Do you think wasting your time and energy on those distractions can attract a partner? No, never. So, my friend, think wisely. I want you to write in the comments, I am a powerful person. I have control over my mind. I choose to do what motivates me. I choose to do what improves me. Thanks for staying with me. You can like the video and subscribe for more.